When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Hey everyone, welcome to this edition of Spin Shuffle Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Now, if you're one of the cool kids and you follow both of our shows, this show that you're listening to now, and It's Not That Bad, which also has Keep Watch Pass dropping on Mondays, then you know that just yesterday, we dropped our Keep Watch Pass episode talking about horror films. So in a moment of podcast synergy, we decided to double down on the world of horror, and we're going to go with songs from horror movie soundtracks. And here to join me, my lovely wife, Carrie. Carrie, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I am doing great, and this is not my current wheelhouse, but let's talk about the horror.
The horror.
The horror.
Now, so this is going to be a very interesting episode of Spin Shuffle Skip, because normally on this show, we'll take one album and we'll pick 3 songs from it, our spin, our shuffle, and our skip. But now we're going to change things up a little bit here. So every single soundtrack from a horror movie is fair game to pull from. So my rules were, and I did this for myself, so I'm going to let you know where my headspace was. The song had to appear on the CD that was released for the soundtrack. So it's not a song that was in the film but never made it to the soundtrack or to the CD. So for me, it had to be on there, which meant I had to eliminate one song, but I'm going to mention what that song was a little bit later. Did you set any rules for yourself?
I'm just concerned that I have to follow your rules.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I didn't give you rules. I'm just telling you the rules I set for myself.
I have no rules. Okay. Good, because I'm about to break them all.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to pick 3 songs from the pantheon of horror movie soundtracks and pick 3 songs each. A spin, a shuffle, and a skip. The spin is one that made the movie better, made the CD awesome, and it's all good. The shuffle is one that movie be good, movie be bad, but the song be okay. And the skip is one that even if we liked the movie, we didn't necessarily like the song. All right. So Carrie, I'm going to hand it over to you. The mic or the machete, I guess in this case. What is your spin pick from a horror movie soundtrack?
Well, although I do appreciate the nod to Machete,
I was more, referencing Friday the 13th, but you go ahead with your Danny Trejo self over there.
Yeah, I'm about to make a name for myself because I am going to break all your rules. So watch me wreck some up. All right, the very first, my spin. I love this song, and when it comes on the radio, does not matter the time or place, I am cranking The Devil's Rejects. Rob Zombie.
That doesn't break rules.
Well, okay, no, wait for it. More on that later. No, but this song has just got such a sick, funky bass groove, and it's just it's a good song. It's a great song.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Rob Zombie has turned into one of the best horror directors out there.
Yes.
I'll stand by his 2 Halloween films, mainly because I thought Scout Taylor Compton was really, really good in the first one. I think his Halloween films get unfairly maligned, and I would defend them, absolutely. But no, between The Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses, he's put together some really good, not just movies, but soundtracks to go with them.
Although when I hear this song, I literally can't stop singing it. It like becomes an earworm for days. Do you know how difficult it was for me to not go around singing this song in the last 24 hours?
I mean, no. Did the song appear on the soundtrack? No. So you did kind of break a rule there.
I had no rules.
I should have made rules for you. I mean, yeah, you can sit there and say, yes, it's of the movie, but it's not really on a soundtrack. So am I going to let that pass? Am I going to let that slide? Maybe I'll see. We'll see what your next pick is. We'll see what your next pick is.
All right,
we'll see.
what
We'll
are
let
you
that slide.
keeping?
All right. So my keep is actually from the Scream 3 soundtrack. And I'm picking Wait and Bleed, the Terry Date mix by Slipknot. Like this soundtrack as a whole to begin with. Like let me go through some of the artists on this, okay? Seven Dust, Godsmack, Static X, Cold Chamber, Fuel, Orgy, Incubus. This soundtrack freaking slayed.
Which Godsmack song?
It was actually Time Bomb that was on the CD. So yeah, no, like this had some killer stuff. Finger 11's also on here. Like it's
damn.
But keep in mind too, like this is when like Slipknot's really starting to like come up, right? Wait and Bleed was actually my introduction to Slipknot, and I haven't turned back since. And it's because this is why I'm still such a big proponent of soundtracks for albums, because it introduces you to so much more music. Because Wind Up Records really kind of loaded this disc up, because the Scream franchise is huge, still is today, right? Scream 3, I think, had one of the better soundtracks, and I lost track of the number of artists that I have discovered and then followed and then like deep dived and binge. Do you know how many albums I've bought from artists based on the fact that I heard a cool song from them on the soundtrack? Like, it's a lot. It's freaking a lot. Like, I'm telling you right now, you could easily point to a bunch of artists and sit there and say, most of their record sales came because of X movie, right? Concrete Blonde. How many people discovered them by listening to Pump Up the Volume, right? The Lemonheads. How many of them picked up CDs because of, I think it was the Reality Bites that they had Mrs. Robinson on there.
And Deftones.
Right?
Yeah.
Or Gin Blossoms.
Yeah.
Because of Empire Records, right? Or anything off the Crow soundtrack.
Well, exactly.
Right?
I mean, that soundtrack was front to back.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it sounds too like the Scream 3 soundtrack is front to back.
It is absolutely front to back. And that's the thing. A soundtrack can not just, be good for the bands that are on there. It's good for the movie because it's actual promotional material. It makes the movie live on longer in pop culture.
Sometimes the soundtrack's better than the movie.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
Right? But there's the thing. Like, I still love discovering artists off of a soundtrack, and I wish that was more of a thing today. But it really isn't. It's more just like, hey, let's put a playlist on Spotify.
Well, exactly, because the physical CD,
Yeah.
or cassette, side A versus side B, and trying to find that balance between the two.
Yeah. Last Action Hero didn't need to exist, but the soundtrack absolutely did. Like the list of songs and artists that have benefited from being on a soundtrack is enormous. And I wish it was still a thing today. More than it is. Because I know there are still soundtracks out there, but they're not as big. It's not as big a thing.
You know what pisses me off more than anything is when you watch a movie and there's a version of a song that is kick ass.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and buy the soundtrack.
Yep.
And it's not on. It's not the same.
Yes.
Horrible. Should not do that.
So, in saying that, you Repo the Genetic Opera, because there is a song in the end credits that's not on the CD, not anywhere. I've had to find it on YouTube because it's the only place I've been able to find it. It's this little known short song, and I will put the link for the video from YouTube for that song on the episode page over on our website, notthatbadcast.com, because it was one of the best songs in the movie and it wasn't on the soundtrack. And it's not on Spotify. Anger.
Are you okay? You want that Snickers bar?
I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay.
I don't know if you will.
You know what? I'm going to be okay.
Okay.
Because we're going to get to our shuffle pick here.
All right.
And I think I may surprise you with the artist. I'm going to go from the soundtrack for I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. And I'm actually going to shuffle How Do I Deal by Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Oh, I did not see that coming.
No. The thing is, though, when it comes to actors who have put out albums, Jennifer Love Hewitt has actually got a decent discography. Like, she's put out a few albums, and some of those songs are like, this song in particular has a very Michelle Branch, Liz Phair kind of vibe to it. Like, she's good. And this soundtrack is good too. I mean, you got Blue Monday from Orgies on here, Gorecki by Lamb, That Girl from Estero. Like, this soundtrack is actually really good. But the Jennifer Love Hewitt song, How Do I Deal, is actually the best song on the disc. And I just listed 3 songs that I know for a fact that I really like. But yet here I am defending Jennifer Love Hewitt as a singer. And it's like, you listen to that song later today and you tell me if that song's not pretty darn good.
All right, I'm intrigued. I'm going to give it a listen. And that was not on my 2025 bingo card.
No, but the thing is, like, Jennifer Love Hewitt is a good singer and songwriter. Like, it's a good song. And regardless who sings it, if anyone were to come out with that song today, in any genre, that song is still a good song. That's the sign of it, right? You could take a song like, turn a pop rock song into like a metal song and it would still work. I wonder if there's a metal cover of that out there. Is anyone brave enough to do a metal cover of How Do I Deal by Jennifer Love Hewitt?
All right.
Make it happen. All right, over to you, your shuffle pick.
Well, as I mentioned, I am breaking all the rules, and here I'm about to make your head explode with the DJ Jazzy Jeff, Nightmare on My Street. Now, I don't believe this movie actually, I don't believe the song was actually from the movie.
It wasn't.
It wasn't, but damn is it fun. It's all about Freddy Krueger infiltrating the dreams of Mr. Fresh Prince. And it's so funny. Come on, it's funny.
You didn't read the title of the show, did you?
It's from soundtracks. No, actually, I did.
You did, and you're like, that. I'm putting my own damn songs on here. Your list may as well be songs that should be. I mean,
it should have been.
I mean, if your list is songs that are maybe inspired by horror films, sure, okay.
They should have used it. Okay, well, fine. Then I'm going to go with what I actually wrote down, and that being A Work of Art by Ice Nine Kills.
Okay.
I mean, that song is as psychotic as I'm assuming that Art the Clown is in the Terrifier movies. I haven't seen it. I maintain that is my constant and everlasting pass pick is the Terrifier now trilogy.
Right.
Haven't seen a single one. Just the vision of Art kind of scares me. And I don't have a thing with clowns. Like, I'm okay with, circus clowns and stuff. Okay, it's not that I have a fear of clowns.
So you're not like Kristen Bell's character in The Good Place has a fear of clowns, and there's clowns in her entire house in The Good Place.
No. I just have a fear of just Art the Clown. He looks scary. He's not one. If you see someone dressed as Art the Clown, you really have to wonder what is wrong with them. Like, really, even if it's for cosplay and they're driving down the 401, staring your car down, you have to wonder, what the hell is this guy thinking?
Mm-hmm.
It's a little scary. That's all I'm saying.
I don't mind Ice Nine Kills, but I've heard this song on radio, and I find it schizophrenic.
It is. But you know what? When you think about it, it completely
It fits
matches.
It fits the mode.
movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
It understands the assignment.
No, and that's the thing. Like, if you're an Ice Nine Kills fan or if you're a Terrifier fan, this song is literally right in the pocket of where you want it to be.
What's hilarious, though, is I've heard like the radio interview from a dude from the band talking about this song, and he just sounds like the nicest guy, nicest, normalist person.
Who just happens to love horror films.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. I mean, hell, Kirk Hammett loves horror films, right?
Charlie Benente
Yeah, absolutely, right?
has tons of
You have
movie memorabilia.
if I remember correctly, there's actually a documentary that's either already out or coming out about the parallels between metal and horror movies.
Scott Ian was a zombie in The Walking Dead.
Right?
Yeah, so
Yes, he was.
there you go.
Okay. So for your skip pick, what are you going with?
Well, now I'm afraid because I am literally breaking all of your rules with this. So my song is from Dream Warriors.
Okay.
Okay. Nightmare on Elm Street, which was it 4?
3.
3. The Dream Warriors.
Yeah.
But it's not the famous Dream Warriors heavy metal 80s screaming song that you think it would be. It is 1, 2, Freddy's Coming for You. 3, 4, Better Lock Your Doors.
Okay. Well, at least that's in the
5,
actual film.
6, Grab Your Crucifix. 7, 8, Better Stay Up Late. And 9, 10, Freddy's Coming Again. That song, that lyric from the movie, literally, like I remember like my group of friends when I was maybe like preteen, and we would freak each other out and start to sing that song just to get each other's on each other's nerves. Scary.
I mean, that one I can actually get behind because, of course, like that song is in the film and the soundtrack by Angelo Badalamenti, the score for that, if I remember correctly, that's also available on the CD itself. So I'm allow it. I'm allow that one. We're good with that one. I can get behind that. That's okay. We're good.
But no DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince.
No DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. But I'm glad you mentioned that song, though, because I actually have for lack of a better term, a dishonorable mention. But I can't pick it because it wasn't on the CD. But it was in a film. It was in the end credits. It was in the end credits of A Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master, by the Fat Boys. A song called Are You Ready for Freddy? Which also includes Robert Englund himself rapping
Fantastic.
as Freddy Krueger. I'm going to read what I wrote down here. What the is this? Like, whoo. No. Just no.
So you're saying maybe there's a chance.
I'm saying no. Like, I get it, right? It's like the late 80s. And I actually like the Fat Boys, right? And I actually like rap from that era because that rap from that era was just fun.
Yes.
Like Nightmare on My Street, right? From DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That's when rap was a ton of fun. This song was not fun. This song literally felt like, and paycheck, thank you. That's what it felt like. But it wasn't on the CD, so I didn't pick it. But I am picking a song from that soundtrack, from the Nightmare on Elm Street 4 soundtrack. Mainly because I don't feel it fits the movie. Like, say what you will about the Ice Nine Kills song. It fits the film perfectly, like you said. But on that soundtrack is Don't Be Afraid of Your Dreams from Go West.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, and I listened to some of the songs on the CD, right? Like the Divinals are on here. They have a great song on there. The Sea Hags, the opening track on that CD, good song. The Vinnie Vincent Invasion is on this CD, which kind of fits, seeing how Dawkins was on the previous movie soundtrack. This song on its own, it's okay. It's okay. It does not fit the vibe. And don't say, listeners, please don't sit there and say, yeah, but it's like, don't be afraid of your dreams, man. And it's nightmare. That. Have you heard the song? No. Does not fit the vibe at all. That would be like, I don't know, putting Britney Spears on a Crow soundtrack. It does not work. Doesn't fit. It doesn't.
But baby, hit me one more time.
No, I'd rather hear that song in a freaking boxing movie.
That'd be like Iggy Pop's hit. One more time.
Right?
Woo.
I mean, I don't know. Just vibe-wise, and yes, I get the lyrics kind of fit the tonality of the film, but no, the song just didn't do it for me. Just no. So I'm skipping Don't Be Afraid of Your Dreams by Go West. All right. Rule breaker over there. Please remind our listeners what songs you picked for your spin, shuffle, skip from movies that should have been on a horror movie soundtrack.
I am spinning The Devil's Rejects, Rob Zombie, always. I guess since I can't go with DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, I am going with a work of art by Ice Nine Kills as my shuffle, and I am skipping on the song that scarred me to this day and is still a part of my nightmares. The limerick of 1-2, Freddy's Coming for You.
All right. And I, who made rules, spinning Wait and Bleed by Slipknot from the Scream 3 soundtrack. I am shuffling How Do I Deal by Jennifer Love Hewitt from the I Still Know What You Did Last Summer soundtrack. And I am skipping Don't Be Afraid of Your Dreams by Go West from the Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the Dream Master soundtrack, because I couldn't pick Are You Ready for Freddy by the Fat Boys. Because if I could, I would, but I can't, so I didn't. Now that I got that in my system. Dear listeners, thank you for listening. And until next time, you guys know the drill. If there is an album that you want us to cover on Spin, Shuffle, Skip, or a topic like we just did, or an artist that you want us to cover on There Can Only Be One, hit us up on social media at OnlyOneCast or go to our website at NotThatBadCast.com. And while you're there, we have a ton of brand spanking new There Can Only Be One and Spin, Shuffle, Skip merchandise available in our merch store. So if you want to help support the show, buy a shirt, buy a mug, buy a notebook, buy a bath mat. We have a bath mat. Until next time, she's Carrie, I'm Jay. You guys are awesome. This is Spin, Shuffle, Skip on the There Can Only Be One podcast channel, a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Take care.
Hey, this is John Moses and Tyler Morrison from the Fight Stories podcast.
And we want to welcome everyone from Pantheon to check out the podcast that goes from pros to average Joes.
We got MMA champs, boxing champs, NHL tough guys, funniest comedians in the world, and of course, stories from guys like your drunk Uncle Tommy on Thanksgiving.
That's right, because we're the voice of the streets, and we want to hear from you guys, because what's better than hanging out with your crew and reliving the old glory days?
Stories like Rigby, who put that guy's head through a popcorn machine in front of his 5- and 6-year-old son while eating chicken wings at the bar.
It doesn't get any better than that. Everyone has a fight story. We want to hear yours.